Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. You gotta labor occasionally, you gotta loaf, balance that, and don't forget, use your loofah pads so your skin is nice and shiny. Um, Remember, I use avocado every day, and then argan oil to make my face look so nice. Anyway, stories are medicine. That's what this is all about today. How do we domesticate intuition? In the old days, it was only esoteric, small groups of people. Now this information is available to everyone. So each one of us could be the keepers of the old stories, certainly the stories of our own life. When you do your personal psychological, archaeological dig, find out what's happened in the past. So here we go. With that idea, stories of medicine. The Muses, 9 different ways of bringing the art forms into life. The song of your starved soul, are you singing it? The memory of what was, that's deep inside ourselves, needs to be brought out again, brought back to life, as we would say. Sing your song, dance your dance. Play the instrument, as they say, of the name in order to open the door, like in Rumpelstiltskin. Knowing the name of your demon gives you some kind of control over it. Name it to tame it, they say. So words, I always say the bards say it good. Words are the opening of the passageway, like in the Alibaba tale. Open sesame. Sorry, your user or password are incorrect. Your username. Open sesame. Yeah. What's the word? You got to chant the mantra to open up that cave where the hidden treasure is. Yeah. Now, I always say that we're all inflection so much from being on the cell phone or the computer or driving the car, and so your brain has been hacked. Are you sure you want that? We don't domesticate our intuition because of neglect and from over domestication to the material plane instead of to these other spiritual potentials we have inside ourselves. The surrounding culture doesn't seem to understand this anymore and doesn't give you a lot of kudos or benefits. There's more taboos for you doing this than there are applause. Nonetheless, like it says in one of the Gospels, the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. And she who finds it hides it. And then their joy goes and sells all they have to buy that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls, and when he finds a single pearl of great price, he goes and sells all that he has to buy it. So, as we used to say, stop the world. I want to get off. I'm no longer going to do this without spirit in my life. Because once you find it, you want to keep it for good. It's called the pearl of great price. And then once you have it, what good is it if you don't give it away? So you can only do this if you're in touch with your actual wild self, your feral self. I don't mean that like runs around on all fours and would eat the same thing like a wolf would. No. The feral self is the spontaneous part of you that's connected to nature, like the green man in the European traditions. We cannot live without this connection, or at least without our imagination to the connection and what we feel it does for us. So get outside. Women have the same thing. If it's not the green man, it's la que sabe, she who knows. She deals with the Rio Abajo, the underground river. Sometimes they call her the wolfwoman because she resurrects the bones of animals that she finds out in the arroyos. Sometimes she's also called la huesera, the bone woman, because she puts it all together. So the riddle to solve has to be done usually outside of the haunts of humanity, where one landmass changes into another, whether it's the forest, the desert, the mountain, the ocean, the jungle. Spirit is always in the center of that. So that's where you find sacred space. Now, this doesn't mean that by going off and seeking this revelation within yourself, that your primary socialization will become less, that you'll withdraw from human being. Quite the contrary. Real integrity is you find out how to have private time for yourself, but you also engage yourself in your society, right, in the collective life in some way. I wish everyone could be able to turn the love light on their eyes and see what's magnificent, beat the drum of what's magnificent about other people, take delight in other people, even though sometimes it's easier to criticize other people or brush them off, cancel them, whatever. But each person is one of a kind, customized to the extreme, just like your own fingerprint. You're one of a kind, so is everybody else. I hope you can find a way to delight in them, especially when they're not doing stuff that makes you so judgmental you can't find a shred of good in them. All right, but you got to learn to do this in a visible way. You're going to have to do this again and again and again, just like the mom might say, something tells me this won't be the last time I bring you down to earth. Because that's what kids do. You got to ground them again and again. So you got to make your practice visible. From the abstract, you got to bring it into the concrete. How do you do that? Acts of service, acts of love. I also said that fairy tale forensics, studying fairy tales, I should have put this on the first or the second slide, because this has to do with how you amplify symbols in your head that you learn from your own dream images, from mythology, from fairy tales, from poetry, language that has to be penetrated. And you learn all about these different things, and then you see the symbolic implications in your own life. So stories are embedded with instructions which guide us about the complexities of life. So share your own story, listen to other people's stories, and then amplify that by learning hermeneutics, the science of skilled interpretation. And then ultimately, when you tell your story, share your dream, you're going to find that somebody in your life at some time gave you a leg up. And through encouraging you, steadying you, they let you stand on their shoulders. And sometimes a dwarf standing on the shoulders of a giant can see farther than the giant himself. So what has been bequeathed to us is every great spiritual achievement that humanity has had up to now. It's our job to take that, the baton race, relay race, and make it our own and move into the future where our vision is much more planetary, much more rainbow oriented, because we're going to include everybody, nobody left behind. Have a great day. See you next week, and happy solstice, happy summer to everyone.